In this video, we'll look at these 6 questions. Timestamps are in the description below if you want to skip to one of these questions. Before we start with the first question, there's a few things to know about fractions. Here we have a quarter, also called 1 over 4. The 1 at the top is the numerator, and the 4 at the bottom is called the denominator. A mixed fraction will take this form, where a whole number is next to the fraction, and an improper fraction is a fraction where the top, or the numerator, is bigger than the bottom, or the denominator. To switch from a mixed fraction, multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. Like here, we multiply 1 by 3, then we add 2. The denominator stays the same, which is 3. This will simplify to 5 over 3. To go from an improper fraction to a mixed fraction, see how many times 4 goes into 9. It goes into 9 twice. So 2 will be your value next to the fraction. And 1 still remains, so then you put the remainder of 1 on top of the denominator, which is 4. Question 1. A half plus 2 fifths. When you add two fractions, you need to make them have the same denominator, the bottom number. How we get this number is by getting the lowest common multiple of 2 and 5. Here is the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 5. 10 will be the lowest common denominator of 2 and 5. Now we make 10 the denominator for both of the fractions and multiply the 1 by the 5 and multiply the 2 by the 2. You will then have 5 over 10 and 4 over 10. 5 over 10 is the same as 1 over 2, and 4 over 10 is the same as 2 over 5. It's just a different way of writing the fractions. Put the two fractions together over 10, and then add 5 and 4. This will give you 9 over 10. Ask yourself, is this in its simplest form? And yes, it is. So 9 over 10 is your answer. Question 2. 2/3 multiplied by 4/5. Multiply the numerators by each other and multiply the denominators by each other. 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 5 is 15. Now, is 8 over 15 in its simplest form? Yes, it is. So it's your final answer. Question 3. 5 over 6 divided by 2 over 3. When dividing one fraction by another, change the division symbol to a multiply symbol and take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Reciprocal basically means that you swap the numerator and the denominator with each other. The expression will then look like this, and it's almost exactly the same as the previous question. Multiply the two numerators with each other and multiply the denominators with each other. 5 times 3 is 15. And 6 times 2 is 12. Thus, you will get 15 over 12. Ask yourself again, is this in its simplest form? No, it's not. So we have to find the greatest common factor of 15 and 12. Start by listing the factors of 12 and 15. And then you will see 3 is the greatest common factor. So divide both numbers by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now you have 5 over 4. The answer is still not in the simplest form because the numerator is bigger than the denominator and you need to change it into a mixed fraction. 4 goes into 5 once, so 1 will be next to the fraction. And there is still 1 remaining, so put the 1 above the 4 in the fraction. Now you have your answer in simplest form. 1 1/4. Question 4. A half times, in brackets, 3 over 4 minus 1 over 3. Remember, you have to do the brackets first before multiplying. With subtraction, same as addition, you need to find the lowest common multiple of the denominators 4 and 3. Start by listing the multiples of 4 and 3 and see that 12 is the lowest common multiple. Rewrite the two fractions in the bracket with a common denominator, that is 12. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 4 is 4. Then 9 minus 4 is 5, so the fraction will then be 5 over 12. Now we need to multiply a half by 5 over 12. Multiply the numerators and the denominators by each other. 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 12 is 24. Thus you have 5 over 24. Check if it's in its simplest form, and yes it is, so it's your final answer. Question 5. 1/2 squared. When you give any fraction an exponent of 2, that means that you have to multiply the fraction by itself. So write it as a half times a half. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. Then you have a quarter, and it's in its simplest form, so it's your final answer. Question 6. Here we have two mixed fractions, so we need to convert them into improper fractions. To convert them, look at this writing in blue. Multiply a by c and add b and all of that over c. So with 3 and 5 over 6, it becomes 3 times 6 plus 5 and all of that over 6. And with 2 and a quarter, it becomes 2 times 4 plus 1, all of that over 4. 3 times 6 is 18, and 2 times 4 is 8. 18 plus 5 is 23, and 8 plus 1 is 9. Now you have your improper fractions, 23 over 6 and 9 over 4. When dividing, change the division sign into a multiplication sign and take the reciprocal of the second fraction, just swapping the numerator and the denominator. Now you have 23 over 6 times 4 over 9. Multiply the numerators and the denominators with each other. 23 times 4 is 92, and 6 times 9 is 54. Ask yourself if it is simplified, and no, it's not. With bigger numbers, you can start off by seeing if 2 can go into both numbers, and in this case it can. 92 divided by 2 is 46, and 54 divided by 2 is 27. Now you have 46 over 27, and this is still not in its simplest form because it is an improper fraction. Improper fraction being the numerator is bigger than the denominator, and we need to change it into a mixed fraction. Here is the multiples of 27, and see that 27 goes into 46 only once. So write a 1 next to the fraction and subtract your amount of 27s from 46. Here we only have 1, 27. 46 minus 27 is 19, so your answer will be 1 and 19 over 27. This is in its simplest form, and thus it will be your final answer. Thank you for watching, and I hope you understand operations with fractions a bit better now. Good luck on your math journey.